OMG, guys, I am part of the FIRE movement, and I'm going to show you how you can retire at age 30. You ready? And I'm just kidding. That is complete and utter nonsense. The FIRE movement, also known as the Financial Independence Retire Early movement, is a bunch of BS for 99% of people. And I'm going to tell you why. So how do you know that you're actually ready to FIRE? Well, you need to have enough money that you can safely withdraw from for the rest of your life without spending it all. For example, if you have $1 million, according to the 4% withdrawal rule, you can withdraw approximately $40,000 a year, and that will last you your entire life, based on whatever portfolio you have. Now, it's definitely possible to retire in your late 40s or your early 50s for the average person, but the vast majority of people are not going to be able to retire in their 20s or 30s unless they inherit a bunch of money from mommy or daddy, or they start some kind of business that they make a couple $1 million on and then sell it to somebody else. That's because the average person cannot accumulate $1 million or $2 million in the first couple years of their working lives. That's common sense. The average person goes to college, gets a degree, hopefully a good degree in STEM, and then they start their working lives. Now, how long does it take to save $1 million? Now, let's say you're the average person and you graduate from college when you're 22. If you want to retire in 10 years, getting the average rate of return on the market, which is about 10%, factoring in inflation, you would have to save $4,800 a month, or approximately $58,000 a year, and to get 10% returns consistently to be able to retire by 32. Now, I don't know about you, but I make a decent amount of money, but there is no way that I am going to save $4,800 a month on an average salary. $58,000 a year. That's a little ridiculous, right? Yeah. Most people are not going to retire when they're 32. It's unrealistic and it's dumb. Now you may be like, strongman, I know it's a little ridiculous to retire by the age of 32. But what about 42? How much money would I have to save every month to get $1 million and to retire and live a fruitful life off $1 million? Well, you'd have to save about $1,300 a month every month and get a 10% rate of return consistently to get $1 million by the age of 42 if you started when you were 22. But guess what? In 20 years, $1 million is not going to be worth as much as you think it is because there's this thing called inflation. Now, our government likes to print money and send checks to people to make them feel good about themselves. But guess what? That usually just increases the money supply. And if you have more paper and more dollars and ledger entries in the internet, chasing the same amount of goods and services, you have this thing called inflation, where the value of the dollar is devalued over time. In this case, $1 million ain't going to be worth jack in 20 years, so you're probably still not going to be able to retire. I hope I didn't discourage you from saving money, because if you can't retire early on a normal salary, well, for most people at least, what's the point of saving at all? Well, here's the deal. Retiring in your late 40s or early 50s when you're still healthy is much better than not saving anything at all and working for the rest of your frickin' life. But you need to have reasonable goals. Plan on retiring a little bit later in life, but still at a point that you could actually enjoy it. Because if you don't save any money and you're working into your 60s and 70s and living off Social Security, you're going to hate your frickin' life. You're not going to want to live anymore, I think. And that's a bad thing, okay? I don't want that to happen to you. Set a realistic goal and work towards it. And when you reach it, you'll thank me. Because then when you retire, you can have that income stream that will support you your whole life. And then you can go and do other things that might actually make you money. So you're almost semi-retired, all right? Max your IRA every year. Max your 401k. Invest in target index retirement index funds, or invest in VT, which is the total world stock market index. And you can throw in bonds as you get older. Don't make it complicated. Invest consistently. Max out your tax advantage accounts. And if you have spare change, put your money into taxable accounts. So if you do decide to retire early, you can actually withdraw from them without incurring any kind of tax or government penalty. Okay? Don't cry. It's gonna be okay. And trust me, you don't wanna retire early and do nothing because you will hate your life. Because sitting around gets boring very quickly. I've done it and it wasn't fun very quickly. I got fat and bored and depressed, okay? But now I stay busy and I feel like I'm accomplishing things. And I want you to do that too throughout your life, okay? So stay the course. Don't do any stupid investments. Don't do any do-bro stuff. Just listen to me. If you save consistently, it'll work out, all right? Please like, please subscribe, drop a comment, and we'll have a reasonable discussion. And if you think I'm wrong, well, I'm willing to debate you. But I will probably be right, because you cannot question me on my own channel. You guys have a wonderful day.